So what happens when two third-generation Arizona women authors who are passionate about their state start talking about experiences, insights, and memories of different places? They don't stop talking. They write a book, and then they start a podcast. Welcome to Celebrating Arizona with Julie Morrison and Lisa Schnebly Heidinger. Grab your favorite drink and settle in. We're celebrating Arizona, going everywhere from A to Z. And we're off.
Oh, nice to see you.
Yes, hello.
And I'm sure if we could see everybody else, it would be nice to see them as well.
Certainly it would.
And half of them are going, I'm glad you can't see me right now.
Yeah, because
getting a
everybody
pedicure.
looks great on the radio.
Did you ever see
podcast, as
that
it were.
cartoon
Yeah.
of a little boy sitting all dejected and his mother saying, "That's okay, honey. I remember how I felt the first time I saw a DJ." Because radio DJs are notoriously physically unattractive.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, funny.
Or at least that's the stereotype. But
That's a stereotype. Yeah. I suppose like there's the descriptor a face for radio.
there you go. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Say no
Yeah.
more.
So yeah, everybody looks great today. We'll just put it that way. We are so happy to not see you.
Well, now that we're gorgeous, where are we going to trot our beauty out to first?
Yeah, right. So we are headed to the middle of Phoenix for beginners today. We are going to a place called the Wish House. And it is called the Wish House because it is where Make-A-Wish Arizona chapter is homed. And so this is on Thomas Road and the Hayden Greenway. And the Wish House has all of Make-A-Wish's Arizona's staff offices there, as well as some storage space where donated gifts are gathered and available to wish granters, which can kind of start the magic for kids that are nominated to the program and accepted and get their first visit from wish granting volunteers to go meet with them and talk to them about what is their true wish. Not only and you know this better than I do, you know this story much better than I do because you very literally wrote the book about it.
I assume we're talking about the history of Make-A-Wish then.
Yes, we are. Yes, but Make-A-Wish as an entity at all started in Arizona and it is now international. So I like to think of it as Arizona's best export to the world.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I had the privilege of being a wish granter for a while. And the reason that I love it and love to talk about it is that it didn't just change the child or the child's family and allow them to look forward to something, though that was amazingly powerful. It changed, in my experience, it changed everyone who came across that wish. So, for example, at the Tucson airport, one of my wish kids and his family were waiting on a plane, and this was going to be his first airplane ride, and he was nervous. And there was another woman in the waiting area who could tell that, this kid was really getting nervy. And she started telling him stories about her chicken that could swing and could play the piano and could do I can't remember what all, but she had us all in stitches with her chicken story. Another time, there was a TSA agent who I spoke to and I said, the child coming through is really nervous about the 360 scanner. Is there a way that we could get him a different security protocol? And he looked at me and started nodding his head and said, so what I hear you saying is he needs a wheelchair assist, right? nod, nod, nod. Why, yes, yes, that is exactly what he needs. Thank you so much. And so this kid was able to then, go through in a different security protocol and didn't have to be frightened going through the line. And,
Oh,
it was things like this that just daily crossings where people unaffiliated with the Wish maybe had never heard of Make-A-Wish before, but have an opportunity to go out of their way a little bit and choose to. And it was lovely to see that again and again from people. I don't suppose Arizona can take credit for everyone doing selfless good deeds in the world, but I think we can sure take credit for some of them because Make-A-Wish's influence has been so powerful and done so much for so many people.
and I love that you've seen it from the front lines. I only interviewed everybody like you who had done something and wrote about them. I never did witness it right up front. But
Yeah.
I think what you're saying is true, that everybody, and there was one from Three Rivers where thousands of strangers showed up to support a little boy who was going to be Spider-Man's helper, and it does seem to just somehow more than invite people to be their best selves, but strongly encourage or bring out their best selves.
Yes, the wish granters get to do a reveal to the child and his family. And my first wish family was over an election season. And so it was late October, and local news was looking for positive stories
Oh,
because
nice.
everybody was sort of sick of the political news. So my kid had the news come to his wish reveal, which happened at his school
Oh
in
my
an
gosh.
assembly. He wanted to go on a Star Wars cruise. It was no less than Darth Vader flanked by stormtroopers who came out to assure him that he was going to get his wish. This was the coolest day. When I spoke to, it was a group of Star Wars actors, sort of like, or Star Wars fans that would go to Comic-Con and have, in full costume and so forth.
Like Ren Fair, only the Force.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah. So they didn't. Not only did they not just send one character, they sent three characters, and then we did this bit, and then the principal was into it with, well, we need to have a school assembly, and
Oh.
like the ripples in the pond, this just kept getting bigger, and then we were on the news, and so it was, and
Oh.
certainly not everyone gets that grandiose, but I think the multiplier effect does happen, and they can be nominated by anyone. They just then need to have a doctor's approval to go through the program. I could go on, but
We should do a special issue for more about Julie's
yeah,
Make-A-Wish experience.
yeah, yeah,
Tune
yeah.
in next Tuesday and we'll
Yeah, right. Yeah, but so yeah, it's a little like getting me talking about horses. And then there was the one about.
Oh.
So we will stop there with Arizona's grandest, finest export. Thank the good people that are working at Make-A-Wish now. I will also stop with shout outs, but there's a website and all kinds of ways that you can get involved if you want to, because it is also an organization that really relies on volunteers, because it is
Absolutely.
the volunteers who meet the children and their families.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, just like SARSEF, this is another opportunity to be made really happy while you are also doing some good for someone else.
Absolutely. And now for the first time, I wish I had met you sooner, because we met in 2012, and
Yeah.
the Make-A-Wish book came out in 11. And if only I could have used Arizona's best export in that, it just would have made the book a
Oh.
little bit better. That is such a wonderful phrase. I love that.
Well, I'm glad you like it.
Yes.
Good.
We'll use it a
Yes.
lot. Have I
Okay, great.
mentioned Arizona's credit? It's Make-A, yeah, and just see if we can get it out there into is it Zeitgeist? Is that how you say it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Good for
Yeah,
you.
well.
Or yeah, yeah. Which is almost all I know of German.
It's probably more than I know. Do you want a question now?
Sure,
Feel like
sure. We can
mixing things
do a
up?
question now. Yes.
Okay, so you've got 3 hours, So it's, you don't have to get to wherever it is you would like to be in Arizona right now. If you could just click be there.
Be there.
Where, just right now, not, the most important or best place ever, but right this minute, where would you want to be for the next 3 hours?
The top of Mount Baldy, hiking down. You would have saved me the whole drive in and hike up. I get to be at the top, and this is in Eastern Arizona. I think now the last time I was there, I was maybe in junior high, so it's been a minute, and I actually haven't checked, and I've never checked roads to know how you get
Well,
there again.
who would at that age?
But you hike in before you start climbing up. You hike in along the little Colorado River.
Oh,
And
fun.
after doing that hike with my dad and my cousins, he referred to it ever after as the prettiest hike in America.
Wow.
Yeah. This was before several fires and so forth. So I'm not sure. There's a lot I'm not sure about, but with instantaneous arrival, I would go there and hike down and enjoy the views.
Oh, and that's brilliant. That's very strategic. Yeah, that is so smart. You just saved yourself so much effort. I love that.
Yes. How about you? Where would you go?
I was
Where would you go?
surprised when I thought, okay, you know where I would want to go? I would want to be in Winslow. And one of the reasons is I want to see that great tack and feed store that you introduced me to.
Oh, the corner.
I just love that. Is it called a tack and feed?
It's called
Feed
the
and Gray?
corner.
The corner.
Yeah, it's called the corner.
But what kind of store is it in horse language?
Yeah, I would call it a feed store.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
And I'd never been to one, and you took me there, and I got those incredible gift bags, and you could get brand new horseshoes, 4 for $6, and I did that, and I just felt like it awakened some part of me that has been asleep for far too long. Well, what do you say we break, and then we get to come back?
Sounds good. Yes, good.
We are the proud podcast partner of AZ250, the commission helping us celebrate Arizona as the nation turns 250 next year. Passport 250 will introduce you to places all around the state, famous and less discovered. In addition to treasures you can visit in every county, there will be treasures coming to you. A traveling museum is being put together that will circle the state. You can look up AZ250 online and learn more.
And so we return just in time for you to take us to your preferred destination today.
Good thing, because I was going to start talking whether we were back or not. Actually, today we're going to Schnebly Hill Road, but I don't think the way most people usually see it. And what triggered this was when not too long ago you were describing your favorite MVD and the story about getting your license and all of that. And that reminded me of my favorite MVD, which is also no longer there. It's the one that for so long was right as you got into Flagstaff.
Oh yeah,
And
Butler.
it was my favorite because I so many important things happened there. When I moved away from Tucson, I got to get my new license with my new address, and then when I got married, I got to get my new name and the license, and then when I got my Navajo plate, so I was just all syrupy gooey about that particular MVD. So Sedona wanted her learner's permit, and it was the day before Thanksgiving. And I had just jogged, but I hadn't showered yet. But I thought, well, it's right over here on 27th. We'll just run over. We get in the car. It's spattering, a little bit of rain. And I say, my favorite MVD is the one up in Flagstaff. And she says, let's go there. And I think, what? Why not? We can do that. We have car keys and a charge card. And I think, yes, that is so spontaneous. We go to Flagstaff.
Oh my gosh.
We go to the MVD, we get her permit, we get lunch, and tomorrow's Thanksgiving, and it's just kind of a nice festive atmosphere. And as we're driving back down, I say, ooh, why don't you start learning to drive on Schnebly Hill Road?
Oh my God.
Well,
sorry.
No. And what she's probably been on it once. She doesn't even know about it. What I know that you now will know and other people will know is that if you go east instead of west, it's a lovely meandering flat track. It just
Oh my
winds
gosh.
through the
No,
forest.
no
And
idea.
during
Wow.
pandemic, when we were all not sure how we were getting COVID and what we could safely do, Rye and I would drive, him from Flag, me from Phoenix, respectively, and we would park across the flat dirt track, sit in our open hatchbacks, and visit. And
Oh,
so
wow.
that place is, and then I think I took one of our Celebrate Arizona photographs on
You
that
did?
side.
Yes.
So it's a neat area, and we went down, and she was, very tentatively appropriate learning to drive. I think I had a Ford Escape at the time, and we go a certain length, and then we're going to turn around and come back. It's probably 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and stupid me says, I think you could go faster.
Oh,
Well, she does,
oh.
and neither of us sees a really good sized boulder, but oh, the front right tire of the car gets it. And Julie, it could not have been more surgical. It sliced into the wall. It gummed up something in the it was the flattest flat I have ever seen in my life. And
Wow.
now it's raining, and I'm standing out there, still unshowered, thinking, "What have I? Do we camp here? I mean, what the earth is
Yeah.
gonna get us out of this?" Well, what got us out of that was a father and two grown sons who had gotten their elk permit and had come down the night before to get an early start, and they saw us, and they came. And they put on the donut tire for us. I wish I knew their names. They deserve a shout out still, lo these many years later. So
Yeah.
we had to drive home doing, what is it, 45 or 50 on the
Yeah,
freeway
sure.
because it's a
Doing
donut on
not
an
much.
SUV.
Yeah, yeah.
And it took 3.5 hours.
I bet.
But it remains one of my favorite memories, partly because of the place and partly because it was spontaneous. And I think sometimes parents get a little bit like, this is what we're doing. And to be able to go past that and think, why not, was pretty wonderful.
Yes.
It's a really sweet, fun memory. And I'm glad we did it that way.
Oh, yeah. That's wonderful. I mean, that makes it, I don't know. I think it's the driving equivalent of going to prom.
The driving equivalent. Okay, there's our title. The driving equivalent of going to prom. You're like, what? What?
But I
That's
don't know, just a bit like
marvelous.
such a sense of occasion
That's
at that
exactly
age. Yeah,
right.
how
Yeah.
wonderful.
No, you're absolutely right. And speaking of that, the mug is double appropriate. So we not only have the red rocks of Sedona, Arizona, but I thought, well, it's double perfect because it's a Sedona Heidinger story
Yes.
so the name works both ways.
Yes.
So that will
Fabulous.
be the mug on the what is that called? The little picture that goes with our podcast, whatever
The
that
mug
is.
shot.
The mug. Ah, very good. Boy, you are
Yeah,
on fire,
I
woman.
know. Okay, it gets worse. Look out, folks.
No, better. Well, let's break while we're still amazing.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds super.
You may remember that up in northern Arizona, Visit Flagstaff is ramping up to celebrate the centennial of Route 66 next year. They have all kinds of ideas about places to visit along the famous Mother Road. One is the Museum Club on East Route 66, a dance hall built in 1931, still booking live country bands. You can even have your own special event there. That arch around the front door is the fork of a giant tree, and it's a historic landmark. Visit Route 66. I'm going to chortle all night. Mugshot. Mugshot. So simple. So, last to share, first to read. And you'd think, or I would have thought, that because today was a daughter story and a Schnebly Hill Road story, that I would surely have something to read about family or heritage. But no, I'm breaking way out of the mold on this one. I'm
Okay.
not only reading something completely unrelated to what we're talking about, but I didn't write it.
Oh, hello. Okay.
We have a guest, well, not a guest reader, but a guest contributor. Chad Stiller was Rye's boss at NAU, and more importantly, almost his brother. Older, but so important, and has since moved to Tacoma, so he gets to live on the ocean, which is always
Oh,
he's always
nice.
been half
Yeah.
salt water in his blood anyway, so that's a good thing. But he and Rye had started Song of the Day, SOTD, and he kind of looped me in. And a lot of my favorite music over the past year and a half has come from Chad Stiller.
Oh,
And
cool.
also, he shares with you the uncommon ability to write something so perfectly that I just sit there and stare at it and think, how did they come up with that? How did they come up with that? So this is not an important line, but it's so evocative of what you do that Chad did that I thought, you know what? More than me has to appreciate this. So this is a guy he's referring to named Jason Boland, who did I think it's called The Long and Dirty Mile, Hard and Dirty Mile, Dark and Dirty Mile. Dark and Dirty Mile is a song. Not important. What's important is the way he quoted it. So this is Chad Stiller's language. Jason Boland is at his best, in my opinion, with vignette songs that boil a certain perspective, feeling, or persona down to its most accessible. Songs that tell stories. No question, I remain a sucker for those. Here are a few favorites that line up to tell their stories, like drunks in a roadside bar with sawdust on the floor and last night's smoke still in the air.
Wow.
Isn't
Yes.
that fun?
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
all he had to say was, "Here it is." But no,
Yeah.
we have songs lined up with smoke, sawdust on the floor, and last night's smoke still in the air.
That would be fun to riff with, like where do your favorite songs come from? Are they straight out of the campfire smoke,
Oh.
or are they out of the meadow at summer camp?
Oh, or redolent of the scent wafting through the resort lobby, which they're all doing
Yes.
now. And some
Yeah.
of them are
Yeah.
gorgeous. I always want to buy them.
Out of the jazz bar with, Eau de Martini, like one of the
Yeah,
martini fumes coming off
yeah.
of him.
Gin
I don't
making.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like
Yeah.
that.
Oh, that's kind of fun. Oh, good for him. That's lovely.
Well, thank you. I will pass that on. And what do you have? What did you bring?
So, I have a poem called Prayed Up. Wishes and prayers are somewhat similar. They're all from the want family, and that could be fun to riff on as well. It's like the wish is I don't know,
The
the
good
wish.
daughter. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, I'll leave that to higher
the
poetic minds.
yeah, let's see, the prayer is the parochial cousin to the wish, which is the fun, like, which is the fun teenager that la la la. Anyway, and so I was thinking about these things, wishes, and there's sort of something about wishes and prayers. So this is called Prayed Up. Some may pray angel wing rhapsodies, fine and ascending stanzas before Amen. Others offer devotion, viscous as hummingbird nectar, selfless intent glinting off the bright flash of a throat diving into new blossoms. Some may pray butterflies, the rocky profundity and continental scale of metamorphosis they crave, weightless in their wings. I love moth prayers best. Common doubts released from gnawing on self-important fears to hover, climb, seeking ever brighter light, undeterred by distance or scope, round and ordinary, unrelenting as folded hands.
I am humbled by that one.
Oh,
Beautiful language, beautiful
you.
images.
Yeah, thank you.
Ooh, moth prayers.
Moth prayers. Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
I am richer because I know you. Have I said that enough?
Well, it's amazing to hear at any time. So thank you for that. And speaking of hearing, I think you have a letter that you're
I
going to share
do
with
that
us.
came to us, and so this is in our sort of our other hats, not our podcast hats, but our author hats, and this just delighted me, and I got permission. So, hi Lisa, My name is Sydney Stratoff, and I found your book, Arizona Friend Trips, at the UA Festival of Books this past February. I was blown away as soon as I started reading it because of how much it reminded me of my best friend, Tina Giuliano. We met through climbing and have spent the last 2 years exploring Arizona together. Not only is she an Arizona native, Scottsdale, but she is a reporter for KGUN 9 with dreams of coming back and reporting for Phoenix so she can tell stories about the place she grew up in. She is moving to Salt Lake City at the end of this month to be the new morning reporter for Fox 13, and I'm making a going away present inspired by your book, where friends and family choose a place they've been with her and write a short memory about it. I'm turning the memories into postcards and then slotting them into the corresponding places in the book. I was shocked when I read that you were also a reporter at KGUN. I was wondering if I could buy a signed copy of Arizona Friend Trips and ask if you could write a short message to Tina. It can be about anything, general encouragement, reporting, advice, life in Arizona, etc. Thank you so much for writing this book. It was such a fun read and inspired me. All the best, Sydney Stratoff.
Oh, beautiful.
I felt like we had young sisters from other mothers.
Yeah. So, and I'm just curious, if you had to give reporting advice, what would it be?
Oh, cripes. I guess
Or
I'll have
maybe
to write about Arizona.
maybe that should be a question for another episode. But I'm very,
Yeah,
I'm
just because I
curious.
don't know what I would say, that's fascinating, and I will think about
Yeah,
that. Yeah. But it just seemed, it made me feel like we're somehow more venerable than we were when we got up this morning.
Oh, that's funny. You know that it's a little like, yeah, I suppose, I mean, it's a little like if you win a prize for something because you're the same person that you were with the same body of work, like, 5 minutes before you won the prize. But it does, but
But it
your
elevates you.
term, you get to see yourself differently.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
we could have made her that happy just by doing something we really
Yeah.
wanted to do.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
lovely.
called her and said, please let me make this a gift because we are so excited that you like it that much. So I'm
Oh,
going to get to meet her in
yeah.
Tucson. And
Yeah,
yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well,
Yeah.
so thank you to, and I'm sorry, her name,
Sydney.
Sydney.
Yeah.
So Sydney,
Who, by
thank
the
you for
way,
reading. Yeah.
when I asked where she lived, by the U of A, I'm getting a master's in da-da-da-da. They had the word art. I said, oh, my daughter's getting a PhD in art history. And she said, you're not Sedona Heidinger's mom. And I
Oh my
said,
goodness.
why, yes, I am.
Wow. How
And, for
cool.
years I was, Larry Schnebly's daughter. And I thought, oh my gosh, now I'm Sedona. It happens once in a great while. But it was, so we will go together and meet Sydney, and that'll be fun too.
Oh, wonderful. Well, so thank you to Sydney and thank you for reading her letter. That is a lovely note to farewell on.
Yes, and with so much gratitude for you and for everybody else who is here. And I
On
just
the
know
journey.
you all look beautiful.
Thank you all for joining us. Bye for now.
We'd really like to hear from you about anything this show led you to think about. Write to us at celebratingaz.com. The wizard behind making a conversation into a podcast is Tom Heidinger. The music comes from Daniel Blatney, and I'm Dana Cooper.